what happening in Palestine too, and what happened in past too. So I'm just trying to help them in raising some funds for the iftar for the people and the families and the kids over there.
The Halal Food Podcast by Halalrun, the number one guide to halal eating options in the US, Canada, and the UK. Welcome. On our podcast, we feature inspiring and accomplished Muslims in the West from all backgrounds. We talk to them about their lives and about the halal restaurants where they love to eat. Our guest today is Anam Rizwan, who is based in the Greater Toronto area, having moved there from Pakistan 10 years ago. She is a prominent halal food and lifestyle blogger in Toronto with over 10,000 followers on Instagram, where she blogs under the handle Anam Rizwan with 2 N's. Anam has some great recommendations for places to eat in Toronto, and she shares them with us today. Anam also uses her Instagram reach and platform to support and raise awareness for multiple Islamic charities and causes, and she tells us about those as well. If you enjoy this episode, make sure to hit that like button. Now let's jump over to the interview. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for joining our podcast.
Walaikum salam, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited for this.
So Anam, how long have you lived in Toronto for?
It's almost been 10 years now, I would say. Yeah.
And so in your time in Toronto, how long have you actually been a blogger and an influencer?
So it's almost been 5 years. I started my page, but in the beginning of it, it was more towards a different kind of a blogging. It's been 1.5 years. I got into more of a food blogging and lifestyle blogging. But before, for more like 3 years or something, I was struggling kind of a phase. Because as a profession, I'm a makeup artist. So before, my page was more about beauty and makeup and reviews about the products of makeups and stuff. But with time, it was because I was struggling, and then somehow I thought that switching into lifestyle and the more into the food, because I am foodie, I'm very foodie, you can tell. So it got me into the food blogging, but it's been more than 1.5 years I got into the lifestyle and the food blogging.
That's great. And so what's interesting is you actually spell your name Anam Rizwan with 1 N, but your Instagram handle has 2 N's, right? Is there a story behind that?
So the story actually is not, it's something because I had my handle for 3 years. It was related to more makeup. It was anamrizwan.mkp for 3 years. But when I switched my account to the lifestyle and the different content creator other than a beauty blogger, so I changed my name and there was not available just Anam Rizwan. So I had to add another N. So just to get the, just Anam Rizwan, nothing else in it. But I had to add another N. Other than this, there's nothing specific about it. But it is Anam Rizwan, just Anam Rizwan with 1 N. But my handle is with 2 N in the end.
Got it. So Anam, one thing that we love about the food blogger industry or the halal food blogger community is the way a lot of them know each other and they sort of support each other, and they sometimes collaborate, but they always check out each other's content. So who are some of the other bloggers, whether they're halal food bloggers or other, that you enjoy and you like checking out or you might be in touch with?
So as a food blogger, there's so many. I cannot even consider myself close to them too, because for me it's something because I'm more lifestyle and a food blogger, so my content is like almost about everything. But the food bloggers and mashallah, in our community, we are all the bloggers I know, I'm almost friends with everyone. We do support each other and we do collaborations together, we do media events together, we do get along a lot. But as a food blogger, there's so many, and it makes me so proud of it that in our community, and especially when it comes to the halal food in Toronto, We get so much exposure for the restaurants. But if it's come to the favorite food bloggers, I have so many, to be honest. But if I look into some of them, I really admire. She's a foodilicious Muslim mom. She's an amazing content creator as a food blogger. She's amazing. I love her work, how she does it, and other than What a Bite, she's so amazing too. How she brings up the restaurants reviews and the food around the GTA. She brings it for us. I always look after her page. She's a really great friend of mine. She's a lifestyle content creator too. She's the girl in the city, Momina. She's a really great friend. Then there's another friend, fresh from the scratch, Anamta. She's really good too. They all are really good, great friends. The amazing thing is that I met them all from this platform, from Instagram, and we became really good friends. And other than that, their work, I really like it. Their pages are really good.
You have named some amazing bloggers, such as yourself. I mean, it's great that you all know each other. And it's funny. Anamta has already been one of our guests.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah.
Rumina is going to be a guest, inshallah, next week.
Inshallah.
We're gonna be on
She's
with her.
amazing. She's amazing. I love her work.
Yeah. And then What a Bite we're gonna have after Eid. So it's an awesome community with so much talent and
Yeah, even other than, if you ask me for the list, I have like a long list of the food bloggers. I have so many, but everyone is doing amazing work. Everyone is doing their best. How they're doing with different restaurants. Mostly, there are a lot of Indian friends, blogger friends too, who are doing all over, not just halal, but other restaurants reviews and stuff too. But if it's just come to halal or Muslim bloggers, then there's a long list. There's a long list to go.
Well, are there a couple of then let me ask a couple follow-up questions. One, are there bloggers, halal bloggers in other cities whose stuff you check out? Because the ones you named are all in Toronto, which is great. They're kind of your local peeps. But are there bloggers in other cities? And also, who are some ones that you admire? Like you mentioned, some Indian ones more generally, not necessarily halal. That's great. Our audience is always looking for all sorts of food content checkout. So who are the ones you like?
If you talk about something out of the Toronto, to be honest, I do follow more because I live in Toronto now. I eat in Toronto, so I do follow a lot of food bloggers here because then I get more to look after too. Out of Toronto, I cannot really name someone right now, but I'm sure everyone is doing amazing work around the world. If you go to Pakistan or America or UK, there are so many bloggers. But I personally know a lot from Toronto, and maybe that is the only reason.
Yeah, and what about the non-halal, your Indian friend bloggers who are really good?
There are a few. This guy Rad. He's new to his page is Rad to Canada, I guess. He's amazing. He's a really good guy. He moved here from Dubai, and he's doing a very amazing work. I love his work. Like, some pages you look after what they're working. Their videos are amazing. Their content is amazing. He's from Dubai. He's an Indian guy, but his reviews about all over the Toronto. He does support halal restaurants too. I have seen all the time he does support halal, and he always mentioned it's halal restaurant. And I really like his page.
Great. So shifting gears a bit, right? So you're very much rooted in Toronto, and by the way, I'm originally Canadian. I love the Toronto food scene. I'm probably going to be visiting Toronto this summer as well
Oh,
to
that's
see my
nice.
relatives. What in the time that you've been in Toronto in the past 10 years, what changes have you seen in the halal food scene? How has it evolved in the past decade?
I came to Canada in 2013, and that time I remember because I moved here. I got married. I came here. I came from Karachi. I'm born and I'm raised in Karachi, and when I came here, honestly, my whole life I was not foodie at all. Before getting married, I was not foodie. I never used to eat even. I was like very skinny. But after getting married, because my husband, he's from Lahore, and he's a very foodie, and he made me foodie too. And then I started to eat. But when I came to Canada like 10 years ago in 2013, at that time I remember there were like not a lot of options. There were very few. There were, and I remember my family, my in-laws used to tell me that before, like if we see like more years back, there were nothing like this even. But now it's a lot of option. But that time I was kind of sad too that we don't have a lot of food options. I didn't like the food here, but I remember every other day we used to go to Popeyes to eat because there was not like really amazing food. And I remember they took me to the this Lahori Lahori Tikka house in Gerard. Um, it was a good food, but my expectation after coming from Pakistan, it was like obviously the food in Pakistan is totally different. But with time, I believe in last 4 or 5 years, it's a lot more options. There's a lot of, and like after COVID, I think more in like past 4 years, there's a lot of growth in halal restaurants, and a lot of other chains like Canadian food chains are converting. Like Milestone Canada recently introduced their halal menu. It's Canadian restaurant, and a lot of different restaurants like Boston Pizza have halal menu now. And so with time, I think with our community here in Toronto is growing super fast in the restaurants. There's so many options. There's so many things now, and I'm so happy about it. Like we have so many options to eat every other day now.
That's amazing. And I'm really looking forward to coming up. So, along those lines, right? Our viewers love to hear recommendations from influential food bloggers like yourself who know the scene. So, let's talk about some of your favorite spots in halal spots in Toronto. Let's start with burgers, which is a favorite for everyone. What are your favorite burger places in Toronto?
Honestly, me and my husband, we are a fan of burgers. We love burgers around the Toronto. And from uh, my top burgers, I recently worked with a GC Burger. They recently opened up in Mississauga. Their burgers are really good. They're really good. I did share my review on my page too. Their burgers are really good. Other than Gladiator Burgers, they have amazing burger, like proper gourmet style burger, and their taste is really good. Other than Six Side Burger, they have two locations, one in Scarborough Markham and one in Pickering, I guess. So these, and there are so many others too. Honestly, there are so many burger options, halal burger options, which are really good. But these are some of my top favorite. Like if I'm planning to go to eat burger, I would just go to either Gladiator or GC Burger or Six Side Burger. That's my top three, I would say, for now.
All right. Well, I'll have to make sure to check all of those out. Let's move on to another classic halal cuisine that everyone always looks to eat, and one of my favorites, which is Middle Eastern cuisine. I know there's a lot of great places in Toronto. What are your favorite, your top halal Middle Eastern places in the Greater Toronto area?
There are so many options. There's so many options. There are really good ones out there, to be honest. But if you ask my top favorite where I would recommend to go, we are a big fan of Turkish food. It is a Middle Eastern food too. The Turkish food, my most favorite is our Turkish. It's not really new. It is, but it is something recent. Their food is really good. I recently worked with them to our Turkish restaurant. It's in Mississauga. And then Mama Fatima is in Vaughan. Their food is really good too. I remember that's an old restaurant. I remember when we went there, we just became a fan of that restaurant like this. The food was so good. I never worked with them, but their food is amazing. Other than this Turkish shashlik, they invited me to try their food. Their food is so amazing. I always recommend to my friends, other than my page. Turkish shashlik food is really good. Their food and their the service matters a lot too for me. But these are my top Middle Eastern Turkish food, I would say, because we are a fan of Turkish food. So Aga Turkish, Mama Fatima, and Turkish Shashlik are my top recommendations.
Amazing. I will check them all out because I love Turkish food myself. Um, Now, finally, I want to ask you, as a foodie who grew up in Pakistan, who now lives in the Greater Toronto area, I would love to hear what your most highly recommended Pakistani food places are in Toronto to check out.
Yeah. So for Pakistani, there's so many. I'll name some of them later too. But for me, because from being from Karachi, from Karachi, the barbecue food is very popular in Karachi. And me, born and raised in Karachi, I'm like I have always eaten like barbecue, like a proper Bihari kebab and uh, Sikh kebab and tikkas and stuff like that. So we, as a family and as a friends with friends and family, we love going to Cafe Di Khan. It's in Mississauga. Their food, they have authentic barbecue. That's what I believe, like Bihari kebab and their puri parathas are you hardly find puri parathas like a proper puri Karachi style puri parathas in Toronto, but they have it. Their food is amazing. Their karhais are amazing. Cafe Di Khan is my first preference when I have to eat desi food, like Pakistani food. And other than that, I recently worked with my Kolachi. Their food was so good too. Their karhais were like really authentic karhais because I found when I moved to Canada, I'm really fond of karhais like goat karhai and chicken karhai, like how they make it in Pakistan, Karachi. But when I came here, I never found like a authentic karhai, like that kind, like not like I know people like back then I that's what I believe, they don't know how to make a like authentic karhai. But now when I had the my kolachi kadhai, that was amazing. Their barbecue was amazing. Other than that, I recently had a proper Peshawari chapli kebab from Khan Baba. They have two locations. I think one is in one, and I went to the Cambridge one. They have two locations. Their chapli kebab is so good. They're like authentic, like proper Peshawari chapli kebab. You know how they make it. So these are the top. Other than that, there are so many Pakistani restaurants, and I'm always supporting Karhai Point. Have so many locations. Karhai Boys are so many locations. Their food is really good too. But those were like my top recommendation for the Pakistani food. If you're looking for good barbecue and good karhais,
And I'm always looking for great barbecue in Karhai. So
yeah,
this is super valuable. Anam, you have been a phenomenal guest. We really appreciate you coming on the show today, especially during Ramadan, which is hard for everyone to with schedules during the day, and we really appreciate it. And inshallah, we'd love to have you back on the show sometime. Maybe with multiple guests at a time. Maybe you, Romina, and Amta, like
definitely,
we could
yeah,
have like a great group chat and maybe group debate
yeah, that would be
about
amazing
certain
too.
restaurants. Well,
So thank you so much for having me. It's really pleasure. To be honest, really pleasure to be here with you on this podcast. I've been looking forward for this.
and before we sign off, I do want to say, on behalf of all our viewers who look to creators like you and influencers like you to help guide them to the best halal options, thank you so much for everything you're doing for the community. And also, actually, I would be remiss not to mention, and maybe one last question I'll sneak in. You just launched a fundraiser for raising, iftar funds for Al-Aqsa Masjid in Jerusalem. So, can you tell us a little bit about how you do that, or what your relationship was with Islamic Relief, or how you got involved?
So this is honestly, this is because I've been in this thing from like doing blogging and influencing from quite a while, and never got an opportunity to work with some any any fundraising company. But this time, for the first time, I got reached out by the IDRF. It's an amazing platform. They are helping so many other. They're doing fundraising for what happened in Pakistan too. They are doing fundraising for that too. They are running so many campaigns in this Ramadan, and we are just trying to help them out. I am doing it for this specific cause. I have more in coming in future, inshallah. And this is for the first time I'm doing it. I'm very excited about it. And thank you so much for supporting this too. This is my first time, and I'm doing fundraising for the masjid. It's in Palestine. It's a very big mosque where a lot of poor people, and you know what happening in Palestine too, and what happened in past too. So I'm just trying to help them in raising some funds for the iftar for the people and the families and the kids over there.
Mashallah. Well, Jazakallah. May everyone be rewarded and taken care of in this world and beyond. So once again, thank you, Anam. We appreciate your time and your insight, and we'll talk to you again soon, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It was really great.
All right, see you soon. Thanks for joining us. Halalrun is the #1 guide to halal eating destinations in the US, Canada, and the UK, featuring over 17,000 restaurant listings in over 2,500 cities. You can find us on our website at halalrun.com or on all our socials where our profile is at halalrun. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so we can bring you more just like it. We are here to serve you.